Welcome to Foodie Mom-versations. We're back with a quick skillet meal. And actually it's not truly a skillet meal because it's 2 pans, but it's really fast. So it's actually in honor of my oldest baby, Ace. He turns 11 this month, and this is his favorite weeknight meal. And so we're going to jump right in and get started with some shrimp tortellini. Yum, yum.
Mom, I'm hungry. You just ate.
Okay. So first, before we do anything else, I'm just going to show you the ingredients list for this dish, and it's pretty simple. I have in the pan about a pound of small shrimp that's been deveined and that the tail is off. And you can get that fresh, and you can actually get a frozen product, and it's not like excellent, but for not having any shrimp at all around us, it's pretty decent. So you can get that at Walmart. I'm also going to be putting in the pan here in a minute some grape tomatoes, some basil pesto. This is tortellini. This is the spinach and cheese. It's actually not my favorite one. They were out of my favorite one. My favorite one is the Buitoni, and it's like a fresh pasta, so it cooks in like 4 minutes, and it's just cuts down, and it's not a big deal at all. It's super, super, super easy, and also I just feel like it tastes a little better. It's like a bigger noodle, and anyway, I just like it better. But this is decent, and this will work. It's a dried version, and it's a different brand. We're back to that cooking wine that I love to get at Walmart. This is the Holland House white cooking wine. Again, this is the cooking wine that has just a very low alcohol content, so you're able to get it like in a dry county, and it's just for cooking. Definitely not for consumption outside of cooking, but it's not going to lend the best flavor, but it lends something at least. So we're going to use that. And then I have some garlic powder here, some Frigo parm. They have this in shaved and shredded, and I like both of them. So for this, I'm using shredded. We're going to be making a sauce out of this. And then we also have, I need to grab cream. So I'm going to grab a little bit of cream. Pretend there's cream there. And then we have what should have been a head of broccoli. And this is what I got just now. This is what I got. So we'll just have to go. We'll have to do it. We'll have to go with it. Like, it's the tiniest little head of broccoli ever, but just know there should be more broccoli than this. So moving right along, we'll jump right in. I've got the shrimp going in the pan, and what I did to the shrimp was I did garlic powder, fresh garlic, salt, and pepper, and then a little bit of olive oil, and I've let that shrimp cook, and I've turned that off. Right now, behind that, I have water boiling, and so I'm going to dump this pasta in, and we're going to cut right to this sauce and get that going. So the first thing before we do the sauce is I'm going to cut this broccoli down. Literally, this is the most pitiful broccoli in the world. So we're just going to cut it. Like, I just kind of leave it a little bit chunky just because I like it for color and everything. So anyway, hold on one second while I get the cream. Before we get going in the pan making the sauce, I'm just taking the cooked shrimp out because I don't want them to overcook and become really gross. So right now, they're just barely finished cooking. They're probably a little bit underdone. Okay, I've kind of moved away from the stove a little bit because I'm worried about my auto fan on my microwave, like y'all only hearing that. So I moved away a little bit, but getting going on this. The pasta's boiling. I just took my shrimp out, and that's what that looks like. Garlicky, buttery, or excuse me, not buttery. There's no butter in it. Garlicky, yummy shrimp. So what I'm going to do is into the pan, I'm going to go ahead and put the broccoli, and I know that sounds a little strange, but I like the way it tastes kind of charred up in the pan a little bit. It just gives it a different kind of flavor, and I just think it's really super tasty that way. So we're just mixing this around, and I'll probably just put a little bit more oil into the pan really quickly. Okay, we have a little bit more oil in the pan now. And we're stirring that broccoli up in it. And all the stuff on the bottom is the good stuff from the shrimp having cooked in the pan. The reason I didn't show you the shrimp cooking was because it really does just take about 5 minutes. And it was just going to be time you waiting there for 5 minutes while I was cooking the shrimp. So it's not the important part of this video. So just like with anything else, we want to season the broccoli. So I add a little salt. I'll put a little pepper. We probably don't need to add any garlic flavor into that. It's already garlicky. This is my oldest son's favorite meal, and so with his birthday coming up, I always try to make it for him close to the time of his birthday. And we're going to put about half of the container of tomatoes. We don't need the whole thing. We're going to let them add a little bit to our sauce and kind of bust to our sauce. I don't think there's a T in sauce. And kind of bust up here. Like, see how it has some color on it? It's starting to get some color there. I just love that on the broccoli. It really does like affect the flavor in a positive way, and I just love it so much. It's so tasty. Back here we still have this pasta going, and that's really where the review portion of our meal this time comes in. I've only used this dry pasta one other time, and I didn't love it then, so I'll let you know with this meal how much I like it or dislike it. We have that white cooking wine, so be really careful if you're pouring it over flame. But we're going to add in, I'm going to say maybe, actually let me measure this out for you. It's about 1/4 cup. And I'm going to give it another, okay, so maybe 1/2 cup total in this size pan. And just to let you know what pan I'm using, this is a really old Wolfgang Puck stainless steel pan that my husband had before we got married. But it works really well for this type of thing because this ends up with a lot of stuff in it, and it has high edges, and it's stainless steel, so I can whisk the sauce. As I'm going through here, guys, anytime you're making a sauce like this, you just want to make sure and get all that good stuff off the bottom of the pan. As you can see, this is a rubber, like heat-resistant spoon. I actually got this at Walmart for just a couple bucks, and it's been awesome. I love this thing. It just can go in any kind of pan, Teflon or this type of pan, and it does a great job, like a rubber spatula job at scraping stuff up. It's like a really cheap, good find at Walmart. I'm sure the places have them. Okay, so you can see kind of here, the tomatoes are starting to bust. See how that skin is starting to break? And that's when they're going to start giving up some good fluid, like juices. These were a little, I don't know, they weren't really as ripe as I would have liked for this, but we're going to make it work. So all of those are starting to kind of, you see that, kind of give up their skin. And you can peel that out if you want to. I leave it in. I like a little texture. I like a little bite. So I'm leaving it there. Another good addition would be mushrooms. And as always, if you don't want meat in this, you don't have to put meat in this. It's fine just with the veggies, or if you wanted to add squash, zucchini, something like that to go in with your pasta. So this is almost done, this pasta back here. See, this is what I don't like about it. How it stays little. Like, I feel like I'm going to set some aside for you guys and show you at the end just separately. I don't love how little it stays. And so I definitely recommend getting the Buitoni. I mean, we'll wait till the end, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to win out, this pasta. I feel like the Buitoni is a lot better. Okay, so, or Buitoni or whatever it's called. Okay, so that's that. We have the veggies in there. They're going, and everything still has a bite to it. Nothing is mush. We don't want mush because we already have soft shrimp and soft noodles. So we definitely don't want that. And if you guys hear background noises or my kids, like, we live here. It's a weeknight. I'm cooking dinner. So, you know, Mom-versation moment. The kids actually live here. This is garlic powder that I just added in, just McCormick seasoning. And I've already salt and peppered that. We just did a sprinkle of that garlic powder over the top. And we're just going to kind of let that cook just a second longer. I realized when I started doing these videos that I say, oh, I'm like a hair more or a hair longer, or I left a hair of water, like a little bit of water, a hair of water in the pan. I realized how gross that sounds, so I'm kind of stopped doing that. I don't actually leave hair in there. I meant like just a little bit, and it just kind of comes out wrong. Okay, so the veggies are going, and that wine has cooked down, and so I'm comfortable like going in. This is where it gets super duper duper quick and fast. You have to move a little fast. So we have heavy cream, just any kind of heavy cream. A 3/4 cup of heavy cream into the pan, right into it. If your flame is really too hot, guys, then it'll scorch that cream. So kind of just keep it over a medium heat for that. And the back of my pan is like kind of janky. Like you can see where it's really hot right there from touching these noodles here. Okay, so these noodles are done. I'm going to pull those off while this cream just kind of comes up to a simmer. And hopefully my automatic fan on my microwave will shut off by then so that it'll be quiet. Okay, so the cream has come up and it's starting to like get its own little simmer type of boil on, and you can already see it kind of getting thicker. The liquid is reducing out, leaving all that good fat. This is not the healthiest meal. Like, I showed you a healthy meal. If you want a healthy meal, go back and watch the skillet meal for burrito bowl. That's healthy. This is a little more indulgent, but we still snuck some veggies in, so I'm okay with it. Let me show you this little piece of pasta. I kind of hate this so much. Like, look how teeny Polly Pocket size tortellini that is. Like, it's just it'll biddle, and I don't love that. The other one, the better one, it's in, if you go to Walmart, it's at the deli case section, like by the hummus and all of that usually, and it's like a Mama Jamma, like a big one, and it's much better. But these are tasty, so it's okay. Okay, so that's in there. We're gonna go in with that cream. We're gonna turn that down just a little bit. Excuse my chewing, I'm starving. Here's the pesto. We're gonna dump it right on in. I leave out like just that much. Leave out that much because you're going to add it in at the end. And I'm just going to kind of, you can actually just stir this in. I'm going to use a whisk because there is cheese in the pesto. Pesto usually has Parmesan, pine nuts, basil, oil, all yummy things. So with that cheese in there though, it'll kind of break the sauce if you don't whisk it. So whisk it in. And you can see, like, if I wasn't whisking it, I hope you can see this, like, where that's all separated, that's called, like, breakage. You don't want the sauce to be that way. So this is also a fun idea for, like, if you're wanting to make something green for your kids for St. Patty's Day. I tend to try and make stuff that's, like, historically, like, Irish food. But if your kids aren't going to go that route or eat that stuff, then this would be a fun dish to make for that, because it's all green, it comes out green, so that'd be a fun one to make for that. Look, this video gave you a double whammy. We're reviewing pasta noodles, we are giving you a recipe, and it's a St. Patty's Day recipe. Like, you're welcome, universe, you are welcome. Okay, so that's how quick that came together. It's on a low temperature because, again, I don't want that cream to go crazy on me, but it kind of has already made its sauce because of the cheese, and that you can kind of see the cheese blending into that cream and kind of making all that oil and everything come together. That's fat coming together, and it's delicious. So we're going to add more cheese. This is that Parmesan I told you about in the beginning. And we're just going to add a little bit. We don't want to go crazy because it won't melt in completely if we do. And you'll notice I left the broccoli and tomatoes in. Some people would be like, take those out. What are you doing? Listen, I'm trying to make this as close to a skillet meal as I can get it. This is how I really serve it, so y'all are getting it real lifestyle, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, guys. That's just the way the grape tomato bursts. Okay, so that's like, look at that. Cheese. Cheese. I know. I didn't include singing in my profile, but obviously it's a gift. Just kidding, but it is really super cheesy. Almost to the point that I'm going to add a little bit of cream just to kind of, it's gotten a little thick on me, so another, I don't know, whatever. Another quarter cup. We're really working our way up the cream chain there. Okay. Really working our way up in the amount of cream. So now what we're going to do is add in the pasta and the shrimp. And so the shrimp is going in, and you want to definitely like let all those little like buttery, I don't know why I keep saying buttery, it's oil. Those juices and like that shrimp kind of stock that's formed back in there. And again, these are small, they're tail off and deveined. If you don't know what any of that means, deveined is when you remove the black line at the back of the shrimp, and the tail off is the, hard crunchy part of the tail on the shrimp. And then I'm also going to go in with my pasta. So that's what the pasta looks like at the end. And it's okay if a little bit of that pasta water goes into your sauce. It's just going to help bind it. All the starch from the pasta is in there. Like I said, if you didn't want to do this as like with meat in it, you could do it with just veggies. We've done it that way. You could turn it into like a fancy mac and cheese. Now that that's all done, let me just get this in a bowl for you guys, and we'll look at the finished product. Okay, so we're just going to get this pasta into a bowl, and I'll show you how I usually finish it up. And you want to take that spoon, and if you're using the spoon that I told you to use with the rubber on the edge, it'll act like a spatula, like a rubber spatula, and get all of that in there. You do not want to waste this stuff. So I'm just going to get this out here by scraping side to side. Really? Okay, it's easier than I'm making it look right now. I'm like awkwardly holding it so y'all can see. Yeah, not on there. Okay, I got as much of it as I think I can get. I worked for a chef once that literally would make sure that you didn't have a single thing left in the pan just to save on cost. And ever since then, I'm just like stuck in that mind frame and wanting to make sure that I get every little bit of everything I want to use. Okay, so here you go, guys. This is basically the finished product. Like I said, it's a fun thing for like St. Patty's Day that's coming up in March. But mostly I made it just because it's my sweet baby's favorite dish. And again, what we have here is it's a spinach and cheese tortellini, shrimp, cherry tomatoes, big chunks of broccoli. We put some fresh garlic in there, some basil pesto. We put Parmesan cheese, heavy cream, and some white cooking wine that you can get at the store. And I usually just give it a little love right on top with some extra parm. And yum, yum, yum. Let's see if it tastes good. As you can see, that's a good creamy sauce. You have some shrimp in there, broccoli, parm. It's really good. Babe, I don't think this bowl is big enough for everybody. Y'all have to get your own.
Hey, Mom, are you ready to eat this yet?
Not yet, but I gotta get the bread ready. Hold on one second. Bubba, I said no. You love it? Okay.
It's super duper yum.